Hi, welcome to another episode of Dave's Home Cooking. I'm going to do an experiment today. I'm going to pretend like I'm making fresh from scratch cranberry sauce, except I'm going to do it in a slow cooker. I'm going to add a little extra liquid. I use orange juice for cranberry sauce, so that I can nestle in 6 bone-in double or triple cut pork loin chops. I'm going to cook those on for about 6 hours. And they should be spectacular. Then we'll look at the sauce afterward and see if we need to thicken it. In the meantime, since this is Saturday, I'm of course doing my prep. I'm also going to make a sweet potato casserole along with some Mediterranean green beans. Let's take a look at the prep I've done so far. I've got the sweet potatoes baking in the oven right now, and in one bowl, the larger bowl, I have the mixture for the sweet potatoes that I'll whip with the sweet potatoes, and it consists of 1/4 cup sugar, 2 eggs, a little more than 1/4 cup of bourbon. Yeah, you heard right, bourbon. 3 tablespoons of butter, some salt, and orange zest. For the topping, the smaller bowl there, it's a little better than 1/3 cup of brown sugar. Actually, I'm sorry, a little better than 1/2 cup of brown sugar and 1/3 cup of flour. We'll put 3 tablespoons of butter in that as well. As soon as it's softened, we'll cut it in. I've also got whole honey roasted pecans that I'll use with the topping. I'll sprinkle the topping on top, and then I'll put the nuts on top of the topping. Also, something that I'm going to fold in once I have the sweet potatoes whipped are these. These are quiche segments. You can see how small they are. Quiche is a species of mandarin orange, and it is absolutely the most fantastic orange you've ever tasted it. If you've got a high-end grocery store in your town, call them up and see if they've got quiches. They're not a lot available, so they're exclusive to high-end stores. It's not something you're going to find anywhere, just because there's not a lot of them. And they are a little bit expensive, but oh, so worth it. And these will be mixed in with the sweet potatoes just to give them a little orange burst in your mouth every time you bite into one. Well, our sweet potatoes are done, and I kind of mashed them up after peeling them so that they'd cool faster before I mix in with the egg mixture and bourbon and all that. They need to cool because I don't want to cook the eggs. I kind of mixed it together by hand first so that we wouldn't get a big splatter when we go to mix it up. Let's give it one more whirl while we work the stuff off the sides. I pulled the thing out and splattered stuff everywhere. That's okay. Now I'm going to fold in the mandarin oranges, and then it'll be ready to go into the pan, into the baking dish. There's your standard baking dish, greased. And I'm just going to dump this stuff in here. Got the mandarin orange segments in there. That's going to be a little surprise for everybody. You're going to bite into it and all of a sudden get this little burst of orange. It'll be a little bit of a surprise. It'll be a nice surprise though. You can see how nice and light that is. It's whipped up pretty well. Tastes pretty good. Well, I don't know. Looks pretty good to me. How about you? It just goes in the oven now for 35 minutes at 350 degrees, and it will be done. First step on the chop is to brown them off. So that's what we're doing. Well, we browned off the chops, and I just loaded them into the crock pot. They're sitting in orange juice, fresh cranberries, ground ginger, ground cloves, fresh grated nutmeg, and brown sugar. Well, 2.5 hours in, and I kind of rearranged them a little bit, stuck them down in the liquid a little bit more. I might have to put a little more liquid in there, we'll see. Now what we need to do is just chop the stems off these green beans and cut them up into 1-inch pieces. The other thing we're going to do, I'm going to take cherry tomatoes, try and get them out here. I'm going to cut them in half. Seed and core them. Yeah. That's pretty easy to do. You just mush them. And there you go. We'll chop an onion, and then that will be our Mediterranean green beans, simmered for an hour in extra virgin olive oil. Here's our washed and cut green beans, grape tomatoes that have been seeded and cored, and onion chopped. They are sitting with salt and pepper, the juice and zest of 1 lemon, a little more than 1/4 cup extra virgin olive oil, and a little more than 1/2 cup of water. We'll bring that to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, clamp the lid on it. It'll cook for about an hour. Those green beans will absorb that oil. They'll be absolutely delicious. We'll spritz them with a little lemon juice at the end. This has been sitting in the fridge overnight and is ready to go to the oven. This is going to be just an absolutely great sweet potato casserole. As you can see, it was just falling apart when I pulled it out of there. I only got 2 out whole. The rest of them broke up. This should be pretty good. And there's today's dinner plate. Pretty nice. Thanks for watching Dave's Home Cooking. We'll be back next week with another episode. Hope you enjoyed this one.